There is a quiet power that does not announce itself. It doesn't chase attention, doesn't need to dominate a room, and doesn't rely on words to prove its presence. Yet when it enters a space, people feel it. Women especially feel it, not as excitement, not as nervous attraction, but as safety. This is one of the most overlooked effects of semen retention. Men who practice it often become men women feel calm around, grounded around, and protected around. This sense of safety has little to do with physical strength or money. It has everything to do with energy, intention, and self-mastery. Most men operate from desire. Their interactions with women are subtly driven by want, approval, validation, sex, attention. Even when they behave politely, that hunger leaks through. It shows in their eyes, their body language, their tone. Women are extremely sensitive to this. Long before a man speaks, they sense whether he is trying to take something from them or simply being present. Semen retention changes this dynamic at the root. When a man is no longer compulsively releasing his sexual energy, he stops leaking intention. He is not scanning women as objects or opportunities. He is not unconsciously asking, "What can I get?" Instead, his nervous system is calm. His attention is clean. He is grounded in himself. This shift alone makes women feel safer, because safety begins where there is no hidden agenda. Safety is not a thought. It is a felt experience. It lives in the body, not the mind. Women feel safe around men whose nervous systems are regulated. Excessive sexual stimulation, especially through pornography and casual release, keeps the male nervous system overstimulated. It creates restlessness, irritability, impulsiveness, and subtle anxiety. Even if a man looks confident, his energy is scattered. Women feel that instability instinctively. Semen retention does the opposite. Over time, it stabilizes a man's inner state. His breathing deepens. His reactions slow. His presence becomes steady. He does not rush, grab, or hover. He can sit in silence without discomfort. To a woman's nervous system, this steadiness communicates one thing clearly. This man is not a threat. A man who can control his strongest biological impulse sends a powerful signal, whether consciously or unconsciously, that he can be trusted. Women are not just evaluating men for attraction. They are evaluating them for containment. Can this man handle emotion without collapsing or exploding? Can he listen without becoming defensive? Can he stay centered when tension arises? Semen retention cultivates this containment. When sexual energy is conserved and circulated, it strengthens the will. It builds patience. It increases tolerance for discomfort. A man becomes less reactive and more responsive. He doesn't chase highs or panic at lows. Women feel safe around men who are not ruled by impulse, because such men are predictable in the best way. They don't suddenly switch moods. They don't pressure. They don't manipulate. They are solid. One of the biggest reasons women feel unsafe around men is pressure. Not always obvious, but ever present. Pressure to flirt. Pressure to perform. Pressure to respond a certain way. Pressure to give something back. Men who retain their seed remove this pressure almost entirely. Because they are not desperate for sexual release, they don't rush intimacy. They don't escalate conversations unnecessarily. They don't use kindness as a transaction. Their friendliness is not a strategy. This absence of pressure is deeply disarming. Women relax around men who are not trying to steer every interaction towards sex. They can laugh freely, speak openly, be themselves. There is no need to guard, deflect, or manage expectations. Safety grows where there is nothing to defend against. Many men talk about values, respect, and masculinity. Few embody it consistently. Semen retention is not a belief, it is a practice. And practice shapes character. A man who keeps his word to himself develops internal integrity. He knows what it means to resist temptation when no one is watching. This integrity radiates outward. His yes means something. His no carries weight. Women are highly attuned to this congruence. They feel when a man is aligned, when his thoughts, actions, and energy point in the same direction. This alignment feels safe because it is rare. An aligned man does not pretend. He does not posture. He does not perform masculinity. He lives it quietly. There is a difference between aggression and strength. Aggression is loud, unstable, and compensatory. Strength is calm, contained, and grounded. Semen retention fosters the second. When sexual energy is not constantly expelled, it begins to fuel the body and mind differently. Posture improves. Voice deepens, not artificially, but naturally. Movements become more deliberate. Eye contact becomes steady, not piercing or needy. This kind of embodied strength makes women feel protected rather than intimidated. A woman feels safe when she senses that a man could be dangerous, but chooses restraint. This is ancient biology. A man who cannot control himself is unpredictable. A man who controls himself inspires trust. Contrary to popular belief, emotional safety often precedes attraction for women. They open when they feel understood, respected, and unthreatened. Men practicing semen retention are often better listeners, not because they learned a technique, but because their attention is no longer hijacked by sexual fantasy. They hear what is actually being said. They notice tone, pauses, and emotion. Being truly heard is rare. It creates immediate safety. A woman who feels emotionally safe will naturally soften. Her body language changes. Her voice relaxes. She becomes more expressive. This is not something a man can force. It emerges in the presence of genuine groundedness. Safety is closely linked to leadership, but not domination. Women feel safe around men who can lead without controlling. Semen retention strengthens inner authority. A man becomes comfortable making decisions, setting boundaries, and standing firm without aggression. He does not need to prove himself. He does not over-explain. This quiet leadership creates a sense of direction. Women feel safer when someone else can hold the frame, when they don't have to manage the emotional environment. A man who is centered can absorb stress without passing it on. He can stay calm during uncertainty. That calm becomes a shelter. Predatory energy is subtle. It shows up as lingering stares, forced humor, unnecessary touching, or emotional manipulation. Many men are unaware they project it, but women feel it immediately. Semen retention cleans this energy over time. When sexual energy is honored instead of compulsively spent, it becomes refined. It rises. It transforms. The man no longer needs to hunt. He becomes magnetic instead of grasping. Women feel safe around men who do not hunt them. There is a profound difference between being desired and being pursued. Desire feels warm. Pursuit feels threatening. Retention shifts a man from pursuit into presence. Ironically, men who try to make women feel safe often fail, because it becomes another strategy. Men who practice semen retention do not aim for safety. They cultivate self-mastery. Safety emerges naturally as a byproduct. Women sense authenticity immediately. They know when a man is performing good behavior versus when he is simply grounded in who he is. A man at peace with himself creates peace around him. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and share the video. Let's continue. Across cultures, traditions emphasize sexual discipline for men, not to repress them, but to refine them. From Taoist sages to warrior monks, retained sexual energy was seen as a source of clarity, courage, and spiritual gravity. These men were trusted, not because they were harmless, but because they were disciplined. Modern society has lost this understanding. Masculinity has become either aggressive or apologetic. Semen retention restores a third path, powerful and peaceful. Women recognize this instinctively. It speaks to something ancient in them, a memory of men who were stable, protective, and present. It must be said clearly, feeling safe does not kill attraction. It deepens it. Surface-level excitement fades quickly. Safety allows attraction to grow roots. It allows intimacy to develop without fear. It allows desire to be mutual instead of coerced. Many men think they must be edgy or unpredictable to attract women. In reality, unpredictability creates anxiety. Grounded strength creates trust. Trust opens doors that charm never will. A man who practices semen retention often becomes a place of rest for others. Conversations slow down around him. People feel less rushed. Tension dissolves without explanation. Women feel safe not because he tries to protect them, but because his presence itself is protective. He does not drain energy. He stabilizes it. This is the highest expression of masculine power. Not taking, not proving, but holding. Semen retention, then, is far more than a personal wellness hack or a mystical secret. When understood deeply, it is a foundational practice for recalibrating modern masculinity. It addresses the male condition not at the level of behavior modification, but at the root of energy and consciousness. By converting a paradigm of loss into one of conservation and scarcity into abundance, it fosters the integrated, self-mastered man. The result is a man whose very being communicates, through 1,000 subtle, unspoken channels, the messages that every human heart, and particularly the female heart attuned to security, longs to hear. I am here. I am calm. I am in control of myself. You are safe with me. This is not a guarantee of virtue. A disciplined man can still choose malice, but it is the cultivation of the precondition for trustworthy masculinity, inner sovereignty. In a world starving for genuine connection and safety, the value of such a man cannot be overstated. Women feeling safe around them is not a side effect of semen retention. It is a direct testament to its success in forging a man who is no longer a prisoner of his impulses, but a sovereign of his own energy, a true and reliable haven in a chaotic world. It suggests that the path to healing the fraught dynamics between men and women may not begin with more dialogue alone, but with men undertaking the silent, inner work of reclaiming and transmuting their own vital essence, thereby becoming the stable, safe presences they were always meant to be.